Hello. Does
Back.
my mic work all well?
Keep talking. I'm trying to
No.
wrangle you in.
Yep.
You can hear me
It's the
okay?
mic. Hear me all well?
Yeah.
That's great.
Kind of hoping I get you coming through the headphones, but I'm not.
Oh,
I think I'm.
it's all right though.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
it's great to see you.
Are you hearing me well? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah, you're great.
Oh,
All
okay,
well.
good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hopping on. It's great to have you on. Um,
Thanks, man.
you just want me to like shoot the questions now? You all good to go?
Yeah, or we can I don't know, anything you want me to know up front or anything that the way we want to handle this or light
Um,
and fluffy,
Pardon?
down and heavy.
Yeah. I just got the I've s- put the list of questions on Skype. I'll just go through them one by one, if
Sure,
that's all right.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll just start off.
Absolutely.
How would you describe yourself in perhaps like one word or like a sentence?
Oh, wow. Oh, so are we starting already, or are you recording, or
Yeah, yeah, it's
we are?
all good. Yeah.
How would I describe myself? Wow, you're starting off with a tough question. I like to think of myself as rather, happy-go-lucky and looking for the light and the positive in the world. Not always successful, but we can
Hmm.
always loop back around to this question too, because in the midst of something, I'm sure something deep and profound will strike me, and I'll
Hmm.
want to share.
Right, that's great. Um, so on to the next one. How did you get into the voice acting industry and specifically into the anime sector of voice acting?
How did I get into voice acting? Well, oddly enough, it came directly through anime.
Oh, really?
When I was a little kid, probably about 6 years old, I was a huge fan of the reruns that were playing on television of Golden Age anime. And by that, I mean Astro Boy and Speed Racer, the
All the
original
classics.
and a show called Kimba the White Lion. When I was 6, I was all about Kimba the White Lion. It was my favorite show. I tried never to miss it. I I loved Kimba so much. I wanted to die and come back as Kimba the White Lion. I loved it that much. When I was 6, I had no idea how animation worked, but I obviously had a full working knowledge of reincarnation,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be Kimba, and that love of wanting to hear my voice coming out of cartoon characters just followed me my entire life. And so, as soon as I could, when I was out of school, I moved to Los Angeles and I started pursuing voiceover. And I was lucky enough to have a couple of mentors who were really established back in the day with both Disney and Hanna Barbera, and they taught me tremendous amounts of wisdom and knowledge and skill, and I was able to take what they taught me and turn it into a career. And I'm very lucky, very 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 lucky, because it's kind of the best job in the world.
That's great. So, what would be your favorite voice acting role so far?
My favorite voice acting role. Wow.
Big one.
Um, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to give that to the one that got away. I was, for a brief shining moment, one of the official voices of Kermit the Frog.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I was amongst the others in Disney character voices, and was waiting for the phone to ring, but alas, it never rang.
Oh,
And the guy who was in charge of Disney character voices at a certain point was no longer in charge of Disney character voices,
oh,
and
that's a
so
shame.
my tenure waiting for the phone to ring kind of ended. So that would have been my favorite, because I had a lot of fun doing the voice just for fun, and grew up loving the character. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
So the possibility of being able to do it for real was a great carrot, but unfortunately never materialized.
mm,
There have been so many other voices, though, that have been just so much fun, that were iconic for me growing up. Luke Skywalker,
yeah,
or the or I got to be the voice of Race Bannon, who was a character that I I thought so highly of from the old Johnny Quest TV series. I got to be his voice in a project, so that was great. There have been a number of them, and it's hard to pick a favorite one. It's like picking a favorite child.
Yeah.
Luckily, I only have one real child, so it's easy to pick.
All right. So do you have a least favorite character you voiced?
Ooh, that's like trying to pick a least favorite child.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because least favorite because I like and enjoy them all for one reason or another.
Mm,
Um, some of the characters may not be uh, the most fun to do or the easiest to do or be the most stand-up guys. I play a lot of villains, a lot of villains.
yeah.
I play a lot of villains, a lot of snarky douchebags. Um, but I have a soft spot in my head for those guys, for the bad guys, because they're doing the best they can, and they're the heroes of their own stories, as the saying goes. Um, not trying to tap dance around that question, but I don't think I really have a least favorite.
Mm, all right. Love them all equally, seems. Yeah. So
I do my best anyway, at least in public.
yeah. Seeming that you're a big anime fan.
Mhm.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh, you mean besides Kimba the White Lion and Speed Racer?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll say besides those two.
We'll say. Well, sticking with the ones that I've been in, I would probably have to go with Gurren Lagann.
Oh, that's classic.
That was one of the best character experiences that I've ever had was working on that show. I loved being the voice of Keaton.
Mm,
Um, I just connected to him, and I loved his personality. I loved being able to craft his voice and his English speaking personality, and contribute to the overall arc of the show. I also really connected to it emotionally, and I did not watch the show ahead of time, so I didn't know what happened. And I'm not going to drop any spoiler bombs
yeah.
yet. But when we get to the point where those of us who have seen the show know what I'm talking about, I was just as surprised, and I went
Oh, really?
no, in my best Luke Skywalker, right before I got my hand cut off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, there's another spoiler for people who haven't seen Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Well, a few
So
of
I
my
would have
friends are
to
watching it so far.
say, yeah.
Yeah, I've still to watch it. It's on my
Uh,
plan to watch though.
well, I won't give anything more away then.
All right, that's great.
Uh, so yeah, Gurren Lagann. I loved being a part of One Piece. Um, loved being the voice of Spandam. Boy,
Mm,
you talk about a douchebag. Although I have to say I was disappointed. There was a poll done online. I forget who exactly it was, but it was a very reputable poll, and they voted Spandam either second or third worst villain in anime. And I'm
uh,
like, second or third? Oh man, I feel like I just wasn't trying.
yeah.
So, but you can't go back and redo it. I guess there are just people out there who are worse than me.
Yeah.
I have to learn.
All right. Do you have a favorite video game?
Ooh, you mean besides Nazi zombies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a whole lot of voice work going on in Nazi zombies. Um, I love being a part of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, that's great.
I have a character that's been going on Elder Scrolls Online for years and years and years now, named Razumdar. And Roz is just so much fun. He's a heroic scoundrel, and he's charming and he's handsome. Just ask him; he'll tell you. And I have been very very fortunate to be the voice of Razumdar for these many years, and Roz gets a lot of internet love,
Mm.
and Roz is very grateful for the internet love.
So, do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie, easy, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, it's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely, hands down, a completely bulletproof movie. It may not be somebody's genre or may not be their thing, but it is a bulletproof movie.
Yeah. Um, is there any characters that you'd love to voice down the line?
Ooh, ooh. Good question. Well, as far as original characters, I don't really know because I haven't experienced them yet. But other characters that I would love to do again, I would love any time to be the voice of Luke Skywalker, especially Luke circa 1977,
Mm,
which I got to do for Phineas and Ferb, which was
yeah.
just the best experience. I had so much fun, and the production was just amazing. My God, what a loving homage. Uh, it was so obvious that they loved the source material. They were so respectful of the source material, and to be part of that was just an absolute honor. And to work with Ross Marquand, who was the voice of Han in that, was a real thrill.
Yeah. All right. Big question. Are you an
Hmm.
iPhone or a Android type of guy?
iPhone,
iPhone.
yeah, yeah. Is
um.
that the answer?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I guess they're both right or both wrong, depending on what you
Yeah. It
say.
depends on the person, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ever recognized in public? If so, how is that?
Really, only at conventions,
Mm,
um, which is fun. Because it's a lot of fun being a minor celebrity, and to
yeah.
have people go, "Oh my God, I loved you in this and that and the other thing," and I'm like, "That silly little show that I was in. Wow, I didn't think anybody liked that show." Um, but not out in the wide world. No, not really. Um, I am the in-person face and body too of a character named Hank Johnson in the augmented reality game Ingress from the people who brought you Pokemon Go. And there are times when there are large gatherings of Ingress players in one place, and I have been recognized
Uh,
as, as being Hank Johnson in those circumstances. But in that case, I'm recognized as being Hank Johnson. I'm not recognized as being Christopher Smith. So I guess it's kind of a half of a recognition.
yeah. All right. What would be the toughest voice acting role you've taken on?
Ooh, wow. Uh, I would have to go. There's two.
Mm,
One would be the Lego Joker
yeah.
because it's so iconic.
I was a
And there's
fan of that one myself.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot to
I
me.
remember I played that game when I was like a kid. I was like actually hyped to play it.
My son did too when he was a kid, and I was very proud
Mm.
uh, to when he would play that, and I'd hear it wafting through the house.
Yeah.
But that was because there was a lot riding on that, a lot of expectations.
Yes, the first voice acting in Lego games.
What's that? I'm sorry.
It was the first voice acting in like Lego games.
It was,
Yeah.
it was, and I was very nervous. I was working on a show, a series called Monsuno at the time, and one of my colleagues was had been tapped to direct the Lego project. And at one point, he looks at me and he goes, "How are your superhero voices?" And I had just done Mortal Kombat versus DC, and I had
Mm.
just done Superman. So I was feeling like my superhero voices were pretty good. And I said, "Well, they're pretty good. I just did Superman and Mortal Kombat versus DC." And he goes, "Okay, well, I'm directing this new project, and why don't you come audition for me?" So I go there, and he's there, and he goes, "Okay, pick three, go practice them, come back." So I picked three. I picked, of course, Superman, and I picked Batman, and I picked the Riddler. And I went away and I practiced them, and I came back, and he goes, "Okay, which ones did you pick?" And I said, "Superman." And he goes, "Nope, give it to me." So he just took it. I said, "Batman?" "Nope, nope." There, took it. And he says, "How about the Riddler?" Oh, okay, yeah, go try it. So I went and I tried the Riddler, and I did a fairly okay job. But I came back and he goes, okay, how about the Joker? Can you do the Joker? And the answer is always yes. When someone says, "Can you do this?
Mm.
Can you write a yes, English and Western, of course." So I went off and I practiced, and I was trying to channel Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill
Yeah.
and all the other Jokers through history, and I'd always been able to do the laugh, and I thought, okay, well, if they don't like the voice, at least I can nail them with the laugh.
Yeah,
So
it's all
I came.
about the laugh.
It apparently it was for them
Yeah.
because I did it, and it came down to me and one other guy, and who I don't know who that was, and I got it. And I showed up to do the recording, and it was a who's who of voiceover people. It was me, and next to me was Charlie Schlatter, and next to him was Troy Baker and Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey, and there was Rob Paulson, who had been cast to do the Riddler because he does a spot on Jim Carrey. Little did I know, it's like I didn't stand a chance. And they'd already cast Travis Willingham to be Superman and Troy Baker to be Batman. So, I'm very fortunate that they threw the Joker at me.
Mm.
And I'm standing right next to Rob Paulson, and the Joker is the first up, and it starts out with this laugh, and then this page-long monologue, and everybody pretty much knows each other in the room. I mean, there are three of the Ninja Turtles from the 1980s:
Yeah.
Townsend Coleman, Rob Paulson, Cam Clark. And I'm very, very nervous. And so everybody's sits down, and I'm the one standing up, and everybody's looking at me, and I'm up first, and I'm going, okay, what the hell? So I just launched into it, and I did the laugh, and I read the monologue down, and everybody was still looking at me when it was over. And Rob Paulson is leaning back in his chair, and he's got this little grin on his face, and he looks at me and he goes, "Not bad, kid." And on the outside, I'm like, "Why, thank you, Mr. Paulson. That's very nice of you. I really appreciate the constructive criticism." And on the inside, I'm just like, Rob Paulson said I wasn't bad. Oh my God,
Yeah.
best day ever. And the rest, as they say, is history. It lasted for a good long time, and I got to work with Rob again, and Troy a lot, and D. Bradley Baker, and Fred Tatasciore, and they paired me up with Clancy Brown, who was just a delight. He's like 6'40" and intimidating, and he's the Kurgan from Highlander, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm working with the Kurgan from Highlander. Please don't cut off my head. But he was just absolutely delightful, and we had the best time. Because Lex Luthor and the Joker were written to be kind of like this old married couple who bicker a
Yeah.
lot, and we just had the most fun. And again, he was absolutely delightful.
Mm. That's
So
great.
I don't know. I kind of went off topic on that question. Sorry about that.
No, I was
I just get stuck
planning to
reminiscing. I enjoy it.
I was planning to talk about Lego Batman anyway. Yeah.
Ask away.
Well, I got a new question.
Mhm.
Do you prefer voice acting in anime or video games? Is there like a real difference?
It depends. Um, in anime, we are almost always putting voices to animation that already exists. So we don't have the luxury of our own timing.
Mm.
Um, we have to fit our performance into somebody else's mouth, and it's very limiting. And you get to a point where you get used to it, and it becomes a skill like anything else. And so you sort of act within those parameters. But it's not nearly the same as when you have your character on the page, and the voice occurs first, and that's usually the case with video games. So that being said, that's really the only thing that I like about video games better than anime. Otherwise, they're pretty equal. They're both fun. I love them both.
Yeah.
Um, Also, that being said, the show that I was doing with Cam Clark, Monsuno, was done to look like an anime show, even though we recorded it in the United States.
Mm,
The rest of the world thought that it had come out of Japan and that we had dubbed it, when in fact it came out of the U.S. and they dubbed
mm. Kind of like a Avatar.
it. Exact interesting turn of events. Yes,
Mm.
yes, indeed.
So, do you have any hobbies outside of like anime and video games that you
Hmm.
enjoy?
Well, when there isn't a pandemic,
Yeah.
when it's not the apocalypse, I really like to travel.
Mm,
I like to I like to see other countries and other cities in the world, and I've been very, very, very fortunate in that regard because I've had jobs that have taken me all over the world, whether it's anime conventions where I got to travel with my son, or locations where I've gone to film portions of Ingress or to participate in live events. I've gotten to see a good amount of the world, and so it was one of those uh, situations where my hobby and my work really meshed well.
mm,
Um, but the thing about being an actor is you're always, when you're not working, you're looking for work, and you're studying, and you're auditioning, and you're trying to get better, and you're trying to keep any edge that you might have in the business. You're just always trying to improve. And luckily, that's a joyous thing to do for me. I love the auditions. I love being in my studio, 2 to 3 hours a day, and just reading down all the various auditions that come in. Again, I'm so grateful, and I consider myself so fortunate to be in this business. My inner 6-year-old is very happy every
yeah.
time I work. You know,
Yeah. So, do you have any current projects you're working on that you could tell us?
I am working on one, but I can't say what it is. It's a motion capture, or I guess we're calling it performance capture
Mm,
now, and as well as voiceover. And it was on a trajectory. It should have been out in July, but once again, apocalypse.
yeah.
And but they still have not announced the cast for it. But it's a favorite old title that's getting a reboot.
Oh,
And,
all right. We'll have
I
to
am
wait and
very,
see.
very, very excited to see it. It has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Uh, I got the chance to play a very heroic guy, and in a career again that's been punctuated by mostly snarky douchebag villains. Um, that was a lot of fun to get to do that.
Yeah. So do you have any thoughts of being a part of great series such as Attack on Titan and Hunter x Hunter?
Oh my God, I loved it. Hunter x Hunter was interesting the way that came about. I had auditioned for the role of Kite
Yeah.
probably 2 years before they got around to asking me to do it. And they sent me clips of him and asked me, would you be interested in auditioning for this character? And I watched the clips and I'm like, this guy is great. He's got a turtleneck and that hat.
Yeah.
He is so super cool. I didn't even know about his backstory, or how he integrated into the Hunter x Hunter plot. I just knew he looked great. I'm like, that dude is cool. I want to be that guy. He is great. In fact, I want to go out and get a hat so that I can look like that guy.
Yeah.
And when you audition for voiceover, especially when you audition for a lot of voiceover, you record it, you send it off into the universe, and you forget about it because you're just going to be pulling your hair out, going, "What happened to that one? I really wanted to do that character." So I had forgotten about it. I knew the show was on, and I just went, "Oh well, guess that didn't happen. They'll have me read for something else." And then, lo and behold, like 2 years later, offer came through, and they're like, "We would like you to be the voice of Kite." And I'm like, "Yes, I would like me to be the voice of Kite too.
Yeah.
That's very cool." Um, and I love. I mean, Attack on Titan is, my God, what an epic show!
Yeah.
Just so I'm so proud to be part of that.
Mm.
That's right up there with Gurren Lagann for me in just that swelling of pride, being part of something that is just so good.
Yeah. All great
So yeah,
shows.
that I am part of
Yeah.
that. Attack on Titan Junior High, still nice to be in an offshoot, but didn't have the dignity
Yeah.
of the original show.
Mm. Yeah. 100%. So do you often watch the anime you voice in?
Occasionally, I am. I'm a terrible critic of my own work.
Mm.
And even after all these years, and I've been doing this for a lot of years, I get nervous. I get nervous as I'm waiting for my character to come on screen. And that I guess it's still having those nerves kind of make me go, yeah, I'll listen to it later, or I'll watch it later, and then I don't wind up watching it. So again, occasionally I do.
Mm.
I went back and I've watched Gurren Lagann, more than once because
Mm.
I love the project, and same with Attack on Titan. Um, there are some shows like I'm in a lot of episodes of One Piece,
Yeah.
and that would be a big time commitment.
That'll be a job within itself,
It
really.
would. It would. I have never been that sick and had that much downtime in my life that I've been able to kick back and watch myself in a show. Um, but it's mostly and because I still get a little nervous.
Mm. Yeah. Would you have any advice for any aspiring voice actors or actresses?
Oh, absolutely. Take classes if it's what you want to do and you love it and it calls to you and you think that there's nothing more fun in the whole world. First of all, you'd be right. But secondly, find find teachers and coaches who can help you be the best person and the best talent that you can be. Because even people who have unique voices or who have voices of God or can do a lot of funny voices, it's like great, you have an arm, but you can't throw in the Super Bowl unless you know what to do. So go find a teacher that can help you learn to play your instrument because that's what the voice is. It's like a trumpet or a violin. That is your
Mm.
instrument. Learn how to master it and be the absolute best technician and artist that you can be. There's that, and also take acting classes because it's not just having the voice and it's not just having the technique. It's being able to connect emotionally to your characters so that your audience can connect to you
Mm.
because it's voice acting. So you've got to work on the acting portion of it almost more than the voice. If the acting is there, the voice will come, because your voice is unique. Nobody else out there sounds like you. Well, I mean, they might sound a little bit like you, and there are people who do impressions, but there is only one you.
Mm.
And so cultivate that artist, cultivate that talent, cultivate that instrument, and have fun because it's really fun. And there's never been a better time to be in voiceover. And I have been in this business since the earth cooled. There has never been a better time. When I got into it, the same 6.5 people did every role, or at least that's what it felt like. And
Mm.
now there is so much material being produced. And rumor has it that as soon as the apocalypse hit, all the studios were like, oh, what animated shows do we have that we can produce now? Because animators can work from home
Mm.
and voice actors can work from home. So it was a way for them to keep their productions going. So things are just going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
So If you love it, pursue it, but get good at it and
Yeah.
take it seriously. Have fun, but take it seriously.
Mm. So, did you have a backup plan besides voice acting if it didn't go through?
I have had so many dead end jobs. As far as a backup plan, no, because I really don't have any other marketable skills.
Yeah.
But I have done so many other things in movies and TV. I have been I have subtitled. I have been a casting director. I have been an agent. I have been a set decorator. I have driven trucks. I have literally dug ditches.
Yeah.
Uh, none of which were nearly as much fun as being a voice actor. In fact, I came to Los Angeles, and I was a struggling voice actor. I went back up to San Francisco, which is where I'm from, and I went and I got a classical education in acting, and I formed a Shakespeare company, ran that for 5 years, and as satisfying as that was, or as fun as that was, oh my God, it was a lot of work. That has still not been as much fun as going into a booth, doing cartoon voices, and then knowing that my voice is going to come out of a cartoon character. If I can be brave enough to listen to it.
Yeah. Right.
So I guess the so no backup plan, but
Yeah.
just a lot of other odd jobs throughout the years.
All right. So, before we wrap up, would you be able to do a kite impression?
To do a who impression?
A kite impression.
Kite impression.
Yeah.
He was as I recall, he was very deep.
Yeah.
Yes, and oh, I'm having a difficult time remembering
No,
because,
that's
well,
all right
after
then.
all, I'm dead and I've been turned into a little girl,
Yeah.
and that you'd be surprised how that can mess with your memory.
Yeah.
Hmm. Any any anything? Sorry, my head just got chopped off again. Anything else? Anything in particular that you would like me to say?
Um, I guess you could say thanks for watching the WIR podcast, if that's all right.
This is Kite, and thank you for listening to the WIR podcast. Listen early and listen often.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris.
My pleasure, Zach.
It's great to have you
So,
on.
tell me, 2 minutes. Tell me about you. Where are you
Oh man.
located?
Well, I'm 18 from Australia, just a student really,
Okay.
and I'm back in school next week, so just gonna have to be studying.
Wow. How is the pandemic there? Are you staying safe? Are you
Um,
getting
well, in my
by?
state, it's pretty bad, honestly. We're in
Really?
lockdown, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Everyone I know is fine though.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
watching Hunter x Hunter though in my spare time, so
How gives you time, right?
yeah, almost done with it. It's pretty good.
It is. It is
Mm.
pretty good. My significant other, Cindy Robinson, is also in Hunter x Hunter,
Oh really?
and she plays. Is it the Queen Ant?
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
that one. Yeah.
yeah, she's like responsible for my death. I think I got too nervous and I didn't watch it up to that point.
Mm.
So it's like, oh, everybody thought, oh, this is gonna be funny. Oh, Cindy's gonna kill him. Oh, wow, that's so cute.
Yeah. Right. It's great to have you on, Chris. Thanks
Thank you,
again.
Zach,
I'm a big
very much.
fan myself. It's
I
great
wish you I
talking
wish
with
you
you.
all the best, and please do stay safe.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
All right, take care.
You
Bye.
too.